for example, you get into a house or into into a room, let's say an enclosed room, and the room has maybe a very bad smell. In the first instance, you feel like, oh, this room smells really bad. But the moment you stay in that room, you sort of get used to that smell, isn't it? And that's the same. If you are in a place that is toxic, you start becoming toxic. If you are in a place where everybody is just nobody is clapping for you, I think that's the right word. Nobody is cheering you, nobody is motivating you, you're not around people, like-minded people, you begin to get used to that environment. Hello. Welcome to today's episode. And today I'll be having a very important conversation. And that is how your environment, the community you find yourself, how it can impact the way you think, the way you act, and of course, how it can impact you succeeding. It's going to be a very important conversation. So I want you to invite your friends, invite those on your contact list, because you might not know how much they would benefit from this conversation. Right, I missed last week's episode. It was a time for me to have fun, yes. And I'm very sorry because I didn't notify you. But I don't feel sorry that I took a break here. Just like the way I always advise you, you need to take a break sometimes. I needed that break because it takes me a lot of time to do this recording. And I wasn't just in the mood to record any episode, yeah. But I'm very sorry that I didn't notify you. And I believe so many people missed me. Thank you to those that sent me messages and those that called me and said, oh, where is today's episode? Yeah, thanks to those that reached out. Yeah, thank you so much. Right, to the topic for today, how the community you find yourself, how it can impact the way you think, the way you do things, especially in this very challenging period. It's challenging all over the world, financially, socially. It is very, very hard and tough. People are really going through a lot of stress. But one very important thing that a lot of people have ignored is the kind of environment, the kind of community you find yourself. That can go a long way to impact some of the things that you do or some of the steps that you take in getting out of whatever situation that you find yourself. I'm going to be talking in so much details about this. Now, I am Bola Adeyeye Omishade, if you don't know me, and this is the Bola Adeyeye Omishade show. It is a community where I teach people to build confidence, I encourage you, I motivate you to believe in yourself, to have self-confidence, to overcome self-doubt, and of course, to be the best version of yourself. You're free to be part of this community, and for you to do that, you want to click on the subscribe button, because every Saturday 1 p.m. one episode is aired on contents on motivating us and inspiring us to be our best self. So please feel free to subscribe. And of course, on Facebook, you want to follow us. Sorry, I had to eat your face. Yes, follow us on Facebook. And that's if you're watching from Facebook. And if you enjoy this episode, I want you to like it. Right. The environment, the things you listen to, the people you talk to have a lot of impact on you getting out of whatever state you are. And I'm speaking to those that are struggling. Maybe you're facing a challenging time. If you're around people that do not understand you, you would find it very difficult to get out of that state. How many of you have been in a situation where you are speaking to somebody, you are sharing, you are pouring out your mind, and the person does not seem to understand where you're coming from? You know, is either they're making you feel better, or is either they're making you feel really bad. Now, so that's what I'm trying to say now is the kind of people you talk to about your situation. Of course, they are in your community, they are in your environment. Those are the people you see yourself with. They have power to influence you moving forward, or you getting out of that state you are. You know, I want to give a scenario. You know, if, for example, you get into a house or into into a room, let's say an enclosed room, and the room has maybe a very bad smell. In the first instance, you feel like, oh, this room smells really bad. You know, but the moment you stay in that room, you sort of get used to that smell, isn't it? And that's the same. If you are in a place that is toxic, you start becoming toxic. If you are in a place where everybody is just nobody is clapping for you, I think that's the right word. Nobody is cheering you, nobody is motivating you, you're not around people, like-minded people. You begin to get used to that environment. If everyone is not believing in you, at some point you will not believe in yourself, even though you have made effort to believe in yourself. But because you are in that environment, you become accustomed to that culture. So, are you in that state now? Are you in that state, or you are going through that challenge? I want you to take a step back. I want you to reflect. What is that environment I am in now? What kind of impact is the environment I am? What kind of impact is it having on my moving forward, or me getting out of the state? Now, the kind of things you listen to, you know, the things we see and the things we hear have a lot of impact on the way we act as well, you know. So when you're listening to negative criticism, when you're listening to negative thoughts, when you're listening to negative opinion, it sort of influences how you would react. It influences the kind of way you will feel. You know, how many of you have listened to you listen to music, and some kind of music, I'm not saying necessarily music, I'm just giving that as an example. You're listening to music, and you know, you're just in a very good mood because the music is lifting your spirit. You know, so when you are listening to people who are not encouraging you, when you're listening to people who are not like-minded people, you would feel demotivated. You wouldn't be encouraged to do more. You know, so as much as you can, you need to have a mindset shift and change your. Yes, I think that actually takes me there, because in some cases you might not be able to change the environment where you are. You might not be able to change your physical environment, or maybe get out of that environment where you have people who are saying negative things. But you need to change your mentality. You need to understand that, yes, I am in this environment where the people around me are negative, but then you need to change your mentality. You need to change your thinking and say, well, they are saying all these things, but I know me. I know what I want to. Now, in some cases where you cannot move around, there are lots of things online. There are lots of community of like-minded people. Switch on to those like-minded. You know, I sometimes I introduce you all to Clubhouse. You know, even on YouTube, on Facebook, there are lots of community where you have like-minded people who have the same goals as you are, people who are going through the same challenges, people who will share how they have gotten over those challenges. You want to tune into those people and listen to them, so that it overpowers those people around you, that physical environment that is toxic. Because you see, you know, sometimes when you say, oh, I have headache, and then you're feeling really down, you're feeling really ill, even if even if that thing is not there, because you're thinking about that thing, you see, the headache automatically comes. You feel really down. You don't want to do anything. But then you need to push yourself out of that state. You need to be very intentional about ignoring that your physical environment. You need to ignore those negativity. I was saying this week sometime on some of my reels, I said, if nobody is clapping for you, you need to clap for yourself. You need to be your biggest fan. You need to be your number one fan. If the people around you are not encouraging you, you need to say, well, I understand that these people are there. They are not encouraging me. They are just there to be obstacles. They're just there to make me feel bad about what I'm doing. Okay, I appreciate what I am doing. I know that I know myself. I know what I am going through. I know that I am putting in so much effort. I would clap for myself. So you clap for yourself, clap for yourself and take that bold step to have that mindset shift, to change that environment where you are in. The things that you see influences your moving forward. If you see things that are not very nice, how many of you, I'm just trying to give these examples. You see things that are really, especially in this age and time where the social media has a lot of impact on everything. We're all on our phones. I'm one of them. I'm always on my phone. We're all on our phones and we see a lot of things. You see something that is really, really sad. Sometimes it just ruins your whole day. It ruins, in some cases, some people, it just ruins the moment for the bit of time. So if you keep seeing things that are toxic, it wouldn't help you to move forward. It wouldn't help you to get out of that state you are in. You need to be very conscious about what you see. And that even applies to our family as well. What are the things your children see? What are the things you as a couple, or you and your partner, what are the kind of things you see? Those are the sort of things that would go on in your head. They have the power to influence the way you act. You need to be very careful about what you're watching, about what you're looking at. Sieve them because it influences you succeeding. It influences you achieving your goal. If you have all this goal, listen to people who are like-minded. Listen to people who are your cheerleaders. Listen to people who will motivate you in the right direction. You have to be very conscious about this. Yes, like I said, life happens. Life happens to so many of, and sometimes you might not be motivated. You might not be motivated to do one or two things. But trust me, if you are in that community, for example, like Clubhouse, you are in the community of people who share like minds, and you share like minds, and you just tune in and you're listening to what they are saying. You will sort of you'll be lifted. You will be motivated. What you listen to, what you see, what people say to you have power, have the impact, have a lot of impact on you moving forward, have a lot of impact on you succeeding. And trust me, you have to be very intentional. You have to be intentional by choosing your community rightly, choosing the kind of friends you have, choosing the kind of people you speak to, choosing the kind of people you share your thoughts with. Because some people don't even get it. Some people don't understand it. Some people are just there to use you. They would listen to you and they would use you. And instead of you moving forward, you are going from fry pan, they say, to fire. So you need to be very, very careful. Some people are not just worth it. It's not worth it talking to them. Some people, it's not even worth them saying some of the things that you do, because they are just there to use you. They are just there to discourage you. They are just there to be an obstacle. They are just there to upset you. They're just there to bring out that demon in you. That's, some of us, we have those demons. Some people are just there to get you upset all the time. You don't want to find yourself around this kind of people, because, they have power to influence or to push the way we act. If you want to succeed, if you want to get out of that challenging times, one of the things that you need to do is ask yourself, what am I listening to? What am I seeing? In what is around my physical space? How many of you have sometimes, when your house is cluttered and everything is just scattered? I've used this example before. You just feel very, very unhappy. You feel really depressed because everywhere is just untidy. But the moment you tidy up the whole place and the whole environment is really clean, you sort of feel excited. You feel refreshed, So filter your environment, clean up your environment. Ask yourself, what is that toxic thing I have been listening to? Who is that toxic person around me? Filter them off. Filter them off because you want to feel good with yourself. You want to get over those challenging times. You want to move from where you are to the next level. Do a cleanup. Do a clean up. Clean up your environment. Clean up what you hear. Clean up what you see. Clean up where you go to. Clean up the kind of places you go to. Because it has power to take you to the next level. It has power. They have power to influence your goals, in you achieving your goals. And you have to be intentional about this. You have to be very intentional about this. I was saying to somebody recently, she was saying to me, oh God, I am actually going through a lot of challenge. And I asked her, I said, okay, what have you been listening to? Have you been listening to people who have been through the same challenges? Has anybody told you how they've been able to overcome this challenge? Have you spoken to people, the right people, not the wrong people, And then, the person was saying, oh, I'm really working so hard. I said, well, yes, it's good to work hard, but sometimes you need to work smart. You might be working hard and you're working with the wrong set of people. You need to work smart, and when you are working smart, you're working with people that work smart in that environment of people that they're working hard, but working hard in a very smart way. If you're not in the right environment, you would not understand this. So there's some things that you would not just understand. Somebody was saying to me, oh, in the UK, information is very key. Yes, information is very key. For a long time, I struggled because I didn't know the right thing. I wasn't in the right environment. There was nobody to tell me what to do because I was in the wrong place. I was speaking to the wrong people. I didn't move with the right set of friends. I didn't even move with people who we had like minds, who we shared the same goals. So I struggled. So information is very key. Speak to the right people. The moment you see that your physical space is toxic, clean it up. Have a mindset shift. Change your environment. When you really want change, you need to take drastic actions. And you need to be very intentional about taking these drastic actions. And that starts with what you see, what you're listening to, the kind of people, your physical environment, your social environment, your mental environment. It goes a long way to influence how you achieve your goals, how you get over those challenges. Think about it very carefully. I want you to reevaluate. Ask yourself, where am I now? Am I around people who would motivate me? Am I around people who are my cheerleaders? Have that reevaluation. Have that filter. Have that clean up. Just the way you will clean your house when it's cluttered. Clean up and filter those things that demotivates you, those things that are toxic around you, because they have the power to influence what you do. If you have found value from this, I want you to share that one thing that you're going to take away from here. What is that thing that you're going to change? Are you going to change the kind of things you listen to? Are you listening to those things that would educate you, those things that are informative, or you are listening to those things, the world now wants us to, wear this kind of hair, is that what you want? Is that what you're listening to? You know, what kind of information is coming across? So leave in the chat. What is that thing that you would change? Would you filter what you see? Would you filter the kind of people around you? And don't feel very bad about this, because it is all about you. Do not feel bad about you when you're doing things for yourself. Feel free to get rid of anyone or anything that is standing in your way, that will make you go from fry pan to fire. Feel free to get rid of them. Clean them up, just the way you will clean up your house, or when it's cluttered, or your environment. Clean it up and get them away from the road or from the way, so that you can move forward. Give this a thumbs up if you like it. And you know, somebody might need to hear this. I want you to share it with them. If you have not been sharing these, I want you to share this today. Share it on your page, because somebody might need to hear this. This might be what that person need to move forward. This might be what that person needs they need that trigger. They need to that kickstarting to remind them that they're in the wrong environment. They're listening to the wrong thing. They're seeing the wrong things. They're hearing the wrong things. Share it. If you have not been sharing this, share it on your statuses, on your Facebook, everywhere, on your Instagram. And thank you for doing that, because I really appreciate it. For those that have been sharing and those that have been consistently supporting this episode, thank you so much for doing that. And yeah, if you have any questions, as usual, the email is on the screen. Feel free to send me an email. And then, yeah, I would, of course, reply as soon as I get it. And thanks for joining me today. I will see you again same time next week. And this is Bola Adeyeye Omishade. Bye-bye.